Have you ever been broke before? 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 Hey, wealthy people, it's time for Chronicles of Wealth, and today we're touring the city of Accra, going around asking successful people how they became successful. So if this is something you enjoy, stay tuned and let's grow. What do you do for a living?
I'm an IT consultant.
How long have you been in the IT space?
Oh, since 1996.
Have you ever been broke before?
Yes, I've been there before. There are times that you run at a deficit and you probably have to ask friends or go borrow money from bank or other sources. Yes, so I've been broke before. Yeah.
What steps did you make to ensure that you never go back to being broke again?
You pay attention to your needs than your wants. Do you understand? People buy things that they don't really need. And I think the best thing is to do a strict budget, so that you consider priorities, the things that are urgent on your need list. When you have surplus, then you can look at your wants. Why do you go buy iPhone 16 if you know you have school fees to pay and stuff like that? You can still buy a nice Android and you'll be fine. So giving priorities to your needs.
Another question is, if you could go back to 20 years, like your 20-year-old self, what would you do differently?
I'll develop professional skills. Other than, for example, I'd rather go to school or learn some skill than to maybe buy a car. Developing skills is very important. And that's what will give you open doors of opportunities for you and you make more money.
Do you think it's important to be educated in order to be successful?
Education is important to success. Let's say they hand over a business to you. Even if you are not educated, there's no way you can manage the business. Or even if they give you a pot of gold and you are not educated, there's no way you can, sustain the money. So yes, for me, education is very important.
Final question. Okay. What advice do you have to the youths of this generation?
I think people are rushing for things. There's too much, peer pressure. Like I mentioned, you buy things you don't need. Okay. People want to own a house, own, a car they cannot afford. You see, so like I said, build skills, start small and grow. Okay. Because if you start rushing for things, because your friend has a car, you also want a car, maintaining the car is not easy. And it's very important that you save, no matter how small it is, even if it's £200 a month. Multiply by 12, multiply by the number of years, and add interest. So savings is very important. You start small, you don't buy things you don't need, and you save.
Thank you so much, sir, for your lovely advice. I really appreciate it. Enjoy your day. That was amazing, guys. One thing he said that really stuck was starting small. You never know what's going to happen if you just start. Now let's go find the next success on the block. What inspired you to be a lawyer?
When I was young, I wanted always to help people in need.
Okay.
Eventually, when I became a lawyer, I realized that if you rely on pro bono, pro bono, as if you go to court and work for free, there's no way you can help your family, you can help people in need. I seeded that aspect of my genius and concentrate on cases that will bring more liquid to my coffers, my financial coffers.
Have you ever been broke before?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes, I quite remember immediately after university, I entered into travel and tour. I was successful in that field, and eventually I wanted to expand my scope and enter into a money transfer sort of. A friend of mine who's supposed to handle my London branch, excuse my language, me up, ran away with millions of pounds sterling. But as a human being, how you organize yourself anytime you're down, define who you are. So I quickly went to law school, and here I am. Not just lawyer, but I represent a group of people also being in parliament.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Sir, as somebody who has such an important function, how did you become such an important person in the society?
Your progression and advancement in life hinges on grace. First of all, you should identify your maker. And grace also hinges on hard work. Always know the very tenant that propel you to the greatest heights per your chosen profession. My chosen profession is the law profession. And the law profession, if you want to strive, is hinges on your honesty, your integrity, and how discreet you are. How you also apportion your time. People go to work at 8 and by 4 o'clock they are going home. By 6 o'clock every morning I should be in my office. While people are using 6 hours, 7 hours a day, I use 10, 11 hours a day or 12 hours a day. You know, the productivity won't be the same. Okay? So these are some of the things that I personally think that had helped me. Grace, God's mercy and favor, hard work, integrity, and also how you relate to people. You should respect everybody. You should know that when it comes to the social ladder, you are not the same. So when the need arises and you need to assist people, do assist people in order to attract more grace.
You guys heard it all. We can't do this without God and hard work. So let's go put in the work. What's your name?
I'm John.
And please, Mr. John, have you ever been broke before?
Yes, many times when I was a student.
What did you do to stop being broke?
I try as much as possible to work hard, spend according to my earnings, my income. Basically, cut my coat according to my size.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a salesperson. I'm a banker for 25 years.
As a salesperson and a banker, what is the most important advice you could give to somebody who wants to make it in sales?
I think that everybody can do sales. One thing you should do is to learn and build your skill set for the particular job you want to do. Know your products. Sales is dynamic, so one step at a time, and eventually you get to go where you want to be.
What are some of the habits to be a successful salesperson?
One is learning. I mean, no one is a citadel of knowledge, but one thing that helps you is to acquire a lot of knowledge. And so it could be through formal and informal knowledge and networking. So you build your capacity, build your skill set for that particular role, and with time, by God's grace, you get there.
Is education important to be successful?
Yes, it has its place in the lives of those successful people. Even the most successful people in life had education. Education is both formal and informal. Sometimes we make a mistake, we think education is just about formal. But education could also be informal. So education is a key to unearthing your potential.
One more question. Is it by who you know or what you know to be successful?
None of them.
Okay.
It's not who you know. I don't believe in that script. I believe as a person, one day at a time. You're not in competition with anybody. First, you're in competition with yourself and to God. Build network, and it's all part of the education, learning. So once you're learning, it's not just classroom learning. You learn how to talk to people, how to socialize, how to connect. The world have moved on to what we call social intelligence. So your ability to navigate the world, connecting people together, using it to your advantage to reach where you want to be.
And if you could go back to when you were in your 20s, what advice would you give to yourself?
Well, if I should go back to my 20s, one key lesson that I'll learn about life is that to take one step at a time. Don't rush. Take your time. Know what it is that you need to know. Don't be in competition with anybody. Stay focused, and eventually you will get there.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate you for your time. Thank you. Have a nice day. You heard him. The only competition you have is you and you alone. Have you ever been broke before?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Funny enough, I restarted my life from scratch. That was 2020, the middle of COVID. Yeah.
And
Okay, nobody knows.
how did you go from being broke to where you are now?
I just treated everybody well as much as I could. Eventually, that's what my business is. I'm into real estate.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a broker. So it's just about treating everybody with respect, with transparency, being honest with everybody, no matter what the situation is. You don't try to make money off of people. And that cascades, brings you more people.
As a business owner, what are some of the habits that have made you successful in your business?
sacrificing sleep. When you're at a certain place in life, you cannot afford to give yourself the comfort of having like a full 8 hours of sleep. There are times where you have to stay up and ruminate, break down issues, find solutions, and it's impending. So you have to do it by cutting off, give yourself more hours in a day. So I always have to sacrifice sleep, sacrifice a little bit of comfort to get what you want.
And as somebody who has been on TV before, how do you manage, people relationship?
Also, it's a blessing and a curse, really. So it's a blessing because now you'd have to break the ice to speak to someone, but the person sort of has an idea of who you are already, or they feel like there's a familiarity. There's that first barrier that's already gone, so you just leverage the rest. But then it's a curse because sometimes you just need privacy and peace of mind, and you just don't get it.
We're sorry. If you were to go back to your teens or your early 20s, what advice would you give to yourself?
Be more audacious. Audacity. I'll say it again. Audacity. Audacity is everything. Your own person, you always doubt what you're actually capable of. So that's audacity to go into do something that you previously didn't think that you were capable of doing, is what breaks the ice, and it gives you a new sense of self. Be humble in your dealings, be humble in how you do things, but you have to be highly audacious in the things that are of business.
Okay, so you mean confidence is important to be successful?
Confidence is not enough. I mean audacity as in like, confidence is you believing in what you can do, in the quality that you have, the knowledge base that you have, your intelligence, and knowing that these are things that you can actually do and you can do it with confidence, you can do it perfectly. Audacity is, even though you are confident, you are doing something that you are scared. You have to go above what your confidence gives you mastery over.
What do you have to say to people who are trying to break it into the real estate market? How can they go about it?
One step at a time. It's a long haul. Like, I wouldn't want to tell anyone that you can come in and in the next 2 years get the next big thing. It's a long haul. It's relationship based. So the more relationships you do, which is transaction by transaction, how transparent you are, how honest and diligent you are in making sure your work is done, that transcends, and that's what's going to bring you bigger and bigger clients.
But do you think a degree is important to be successful?
Hot take, but I really believe school is for the relationships you create over there and the mindsets you are able to generate as a result of the people that you surround yourself with whilst you're in school. You wouldn't find that anywhere outside school, but the school itself is a base of technical knowledge that you can build upon. But most of the time, you'd realize that most of the things that you actually do study in school, you not use outside life. And surround yourself with some certain kinds of people, motivated people, connections that would also be able to open doors for you. I feel like that is the most important part of being in school.
Thank you so much. And just for our viewers, what is your name and what do you do and where can we find you?
Okay, so my name is Ivan Iduma. I'm a realtor. I own a few businesses here and there. You can find me on Instagram, 6_lashes.
And that's all we have for today, guys. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and follow us for more tips from successful people we interview in Africa and beyond.